Annyeonghaseyo. My name is Simon Brickle. I'm very grateful to be here at DICON conference. I found it very interesting so far, and I hope you have too. I'm based in London. I work for a company called Monte Rosa. We have been working in the second screen space for quite a long time, about 13 years. And we've certainly seen our industry and our company pivot many times over that period. I'm going to talk today about second screen engagement and return on investment, because the second screen is something which is becoming increasingly important within entertainment, sports, advertising, particularly in Europe. I don't really know to what extent it's being used here, but I'm going to show you some examples of some recent things that we've been involved in, and I'm going to talk about how they make money, because I think this is something which is now emerging. It's been a long time before we've got to the point where people can actually understand how you make money out of doing this kind of thing. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've learned there. I'm going to start with a quick video. My videos are all a bit commercial because they're sales material, so I apologize for that. You don't have to buy anything. But I'm just going to show you quickly some of the things that we'll be talking about, and this is a kind of a quick overview. Sorry, I'm going to stop it there because that's the longer version of the video. I wasn't expecting it to be quite that long. So let's start by, let's just get this back again. Let's start by talking about the audience for second screen. So today when we're watching TV, we're not just sitting there watching TV, but we've all got one of these next to us, a Korean smartphone. And I think that's more true here than it is probably anywhere else in the world. But mostly people are using those phones to do something which is not related to the TV. They are on social networks, they're checking email, they're doing something unrelated. But the activity that we're interested in is what we call media meshing, which is when people are using their smartphone or tablet or internet-enabled device to do something which is related to the show that they're watching on TV. And some recent survey data there, you can see in the UK, 25% of people say that they are regularly doing this. In America, 40% of Americans say that they regularly use a smartphone or tablet while they're watching TV. So this is a growing behavior. And what I'm going to talk about is what we call integrated interaction. So this is when the audience engages with the content that's on their TV screen using this second screen device. And this engagement, if it's done properly, it's meaningful and it's monetizable. I'm going to go through 5 different case studies, some of which you might have seen in the video just then, and going to try and illustrate what I mean. We work across 3 different main categories: entertainment, sport, and advertising, because these are the areas where we see the biggest opportunities for second screen integrated interaction. So the first case study is a game show. It's an Endemol game show called The £1 Million Drop. It's broadcast on Channel 4 in the UK. It has play-along games on the web, iOS and Android, and they've been very successful. We've had over 2.5 million downloads in the 15 months that those games have been out there. And the game also links into Channel 4's registration system, which allows them to collect valuable data about the users. We see up to about 13% of the audience playing along with these games, answering questions in sync with the contestants on the TV show, winning virtual money. There is no prize in this game. The game's free to play during the show, and there is also a paid version which you can unlock to play outside of the show times, and about 10% of the audience pay for that version of the game. So in this show, this online game has become an integral part of the show. It's something that is used and referenced throughout the show. And it, together with the TV format, obviously, this has become a surprise hit for Channel 4, and it's now their most popular entertainment show. Let's take another entertainment example you might be more familiar with. This is from BBC Worldwide's Top Gear show, and the game is very simple. It's a bingo game. You have to try and complete a grid of words and images as they appear on the TV, and it's linked into Facebook, so people compete with their Facebook friends. BBC Worldwide used this with a recent series of Top Gear in 12 different territories around the world. So multilingual, they translated it and used it in 12 territories. The app, in this case, it's not actually an app. It's an HTML5 application. It's responsive design, so it'll run on any device. You just need to know the address, type it into your browser. The app loads up and fits your phone or your tablet, and it's much quicker and cheaper to make a game in this form. So this is increasingly the way that we are deploying second screen apps. Again, I have a little video of this just to kind of show you what the experience is like. This is a video that BBC Worldwide made to promote the game. This is the Stig. Does any you know this show? I guess you have this in Korea.
The new 1M. The 1M is like a turkey curry on Boxing Day. Good news! They're faster than the more expensive M3.
So you have to be careful when you design the points systems for these games, not to upset anybody. So this is another example from sports now. The Sky Sports Pub Challenge, it's a game that's designed for use in pubs, where people go to watch football and they go with their smartphones. And here specifically thinking about phone devices, not tablets, because in a pub you don't tend to take your tablet with you. The game involves a combination of prediction and quiz questions. You earn points by answering correctly over multiple games. Prizes are awarded for the best player of the month or over the season. And there's a strong link to betting with this because Sky also have a betting portal, so a large percentage of players of the game go through to Sky's betting system and place a bet during the game, which for them is a big benefit. So another sports example is the Horse Tracker, which is an application that we built with Channel 4 in the UK. This allows racing fans to track their horses in real time around the racetrack. We work with a company who provide the horse data. They put electronic tags onto the horses and track their position around the course. And the app synchronizes that data with the TV signal by using an audio watermarking system. So it was a real innovation for horse racing. And it attracted a huge audience when it launched with the Grand National and went straight to #1 in the UK App Store. It was both an app and a mobile website, I should say. So in this case, we built it. We did both. And there is a betting sponsor, so it was integrated with betting adverts and live odds. And again, I have a little video just to show you how this one worked. My final example is a second screen advertising campaign, which was used in 2 countries last year with the launch of the new Volkswagen Golf. Again, it's a responsive HTML5 app, so it was easy to load using a phone's browser. And the way this worked was, rather than a TV show, there were 3 ad spots, 20-second ad spots, within ITV's X Factor application show. And we asked viewers to choose their one song, which was the idea of the campaign, live during the show. The results were fed back dynamically into the second and third ad spots. And what happened on social media was that everybody tweeted their song choice from this app. Within the app, we asked people, after you've chosen a song, tweet your song. And that meant that Volkswagen trended on Twitter, which for the brand was a really big thing. That was perhaps the most valuable thing that came out of this campaign for them. So I've kind of gone through 5 quite different case studies there of second screen experiences. And they're across entertainment, sports, and advertising, as I said. Now I'm going to have a look at monetization and about how our customers and how you potentially can make money out of these second screen experiences. So the first way is through the data. Second screen apps are really good at collecting data. The viewers, when they are engaging on a second screen device, they're willing to share details as part of their participation with the show. The data collection increases the value of any sponsorship and advertising that you have within the show, and it can also be used directly for lead generation. As the previous speaker said, you have to be very careful about how you collect the data, but most of our customers want to do this, and we have terms and conditions, and you are very aware that your data is going to be used in that way. And what we find is that people are still willing to do that, to give their data. A couple of examples with ITV. We worked with a show called Red or Black, sponsored by Domino's Pizza, and they had 240,000 users register within a week. 30% of them, they had to tick a box to say, yes, I will opt in for marketing, and 30% did. So that's really valuable data for the brand and for lead generation for the sponsor. NBC recently registered 1.9 million users with the million-second quiz, which was only live for a month, so an incredible number of users. That was a full registration process that people had to go through in order to play the game. So the second area where this has monetary value is through the amplification. The second screen can really amplify the reach of the TV show. It drives social media around the show, and it can make a much bigger footprint than it would normally. So what that means is that the second screen app often will encourage you to share something, to tweet something, and that increases the social media footprint of the show. So many people, for certain shows, many people discover the show through social media because they see their friends posting and tweeting about it, and they want to watch the show and find out about it and see what it is. And audiences which are active on social media are also more valuable to advertisers. So you increase, you prove that your audiences are social, and you have a premium value on the advertising for that. In the example I just mentioned, for Volkswagen, having a trending hashtag on Twitter was very valuable and worth the whole campaign for them. And the third way in which this adds value to the brand is it helps to reinvent the TV format itself. So a truly integrated second screen experience makes the TV show more enjoyable in the eyes of the audience, and it helps to make the show more relevant, to give perhaps a show which would otherwise not have something special about it, really become something unique. And this is especially true with younger audiences. A couple of examples here. Voting with a show called Got to Dance, we had 14% of the audience voting. When we did it with a second screen app, it was twice as successful as it had been previously with SMS voting, which is how the show had done it before. And as I said, £1 Million Drop converts a large percentage and has an enormous level of downloads. And I'm just going to leave you with this quote from the CEO of ITV, which is the UK's biggest commercial broadcaster. He says, growing demand from advertisers is one reason why offering second screen experiences is a great opportunity for us. And in my experience, this is the main reason. The pressure is coming from the brands. They want to be on the TV, but they also want to be on the device which is in your hand. So they're the ones who are saying to the broadcasters, where's our second screen? What are we doing on people's devices? And that in turn is driving the broadcasters to create these shows. Thank you very much. And does anyone have any questions?
네, 좋은 강연 감사드립니다. 그 세컨드 스크린 기술을 활용한 영역, 그 다음에 그걸 통해서 수익을 어떻게 창출해 낼 것인가에 대한 전망을 역설해 주셨습니다. 좋은 강연 주셨고요. 그럼 지금부터 10분간 Q&A 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 질문 있으신 참석자들께서는 손을 들어주시면 마이크를 갖다 드릴 거고요. 소속을 밝혀주시고 질문을 해주시면 보다 상세한 답변이 되지 않을까 그렇게 생각하고 있습니다. 네, 질문 있으신가요? 네, 일단 저 뒤부터 뒤에 계신 분부터 질문하겠습니다.
네, 저는 한국방송예술교육진흥원을 얼마 전에 졸업한 아직 학생 신분인 고한박이라고 하고요. 네, 저는 그 세컨드 스크린 기술이 저렇게 그냥 리얼타임 쇼뿐만이 아니라 그런 드라마, 예를 들어서 스릴러물 같은 거를 봤을 때 거기서 이제 실시간으로 주어지는 혹은 만들어진 컨텐츠에서 주어지는 단서, 그거를 같이 이제 추리해가는 그런.
Okay, I'm sorry. This device isn't.
저 여기 리시버 네.
Just 1 minute. Sorry, this keeps cutting in and out. Do you have a different one?
Yes. Can I check one more time?
Right, it's just cutting in and out.
진행이 조금 매끄럽지 않은데요. 좀 이해해 주셨으면 감사하겠습니다.
It's going on and off.
네, 통역 한번 해주실래요?
So if the interpreter could just repeat the
네,
translation.
그 통역이 잘 안 됐으니까요. 질문을 다시 한번 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 지금 이제 제가 봤던 거는 세컨드 스크린 기술에서 이제 그냥 리얼타임 쇼뿐만이 아니라 스릴러물, 예를 들어서 로스트나 혹은 세븐 같은 영화, 그런 드라마, 이미 제작되어 있는 컨텐츠를 볼 때 저런 이제 별도의 앱을 통해서 우리가 그때 주어지는 단서, 그러면서 같이 추리해가는 그런 앱을 제가 맨 처음에 그런 아이템을 저희 스터디 그룹에서 던졌을 때 저는 그런 게 상당히 긍정적인 효과와 그리고 몰입도 증진을 발생할 수 있다고 믿었는데, 저희 스터디 그룹에서 나온 얘기는 이제 오히려 그런 집중해야 될 스릴러물에 대한 집중도를 반감시킬 수 있는 가능성이 크기 때문에 그런 거는 좀 리얼리티 쇼와 다르게 적용이 힘들지 않을까라는 의견을 받았습니다. 좀 그런 부정적인 의견에 대한 생각을 들어보고 싶습니다.
Yes, absolutely. Those, and I don't have any good examples of those because we haven't been doing any of those recently. But there have been some really good examples. There's the US show Game of Thrones with HBO is a really good example of a companion app like that. Those things have a lot of value in exactly the same way as the examples I've been talking about. The only thing I would say about that kind of experience is it's quite hard to create it in an easily repeatable way, so they tend to be quite expensive and quite custom and tailored towards the show. But from an audience perspective, yes, they're very valuable.
네, 다음 질문 있으신가요? 네, 이쪽 앞에, 네, 맨 앞자리에 계시네요. 맨 앞쪽이요, 맨 앞쪽.
네, 좋은 강연 감사합니다. TV 방송국에서 콘텐츠 전략을 세우는 일을 하고 있는데요. 우선은 이 지금 세컨 스크린 관련해서 이제 여러 가지 TV 프로그램과 연계시켜서 어플리케이션 혹은 웹 서비스를 하고 있는데 메인 타겟이 주로 어떤 연령대는 어떤지, 젠더는 어떤지, 그러니까 성별은 어떤지 뭐 등등 그런 메인 타겟 주 시청층이, 주 사용층이 있을 것 같은데 좀 그런 결과를 좀 듣고 싶습니다.
Well, partly it depends on the show. So I think we see no real difference in second screen between genders, but the TV show might skew male or female, in which case we will see the same split. In terms of age, it's a younger age bracket, but it's not as young as you would think. And we see, although the biggest bracket will be sort of 20 to 30, we see a lot of use in 30 to 50 and above now. I think there is no age differential with the technology. Older people in most developed economies have smartphones and tablets. Maybe they're not using them as much in this way, but it's becoming broader all the time.
다음 질문 해주시죠. 네, 세 번째 줄에 네, 손 다시 한번 들어주시겠어요? 네.
예, 텔레콤 업체에서 콘텐츠 제작하고 있는데요. 이런 부분을 갖다가 대표님이 오픈할 수 있는지 모르겠는데 현실적으로 보게 되면 이제 국내에서도 이런 식의 어떤 시도가 되게 이벤트성으로 많이 있었다고 생각을 합니다. 근데 그런 게 이벤트성으로밖에 있을 수 없었던 이유 중에 하나가 말씀하신 것처럼 제작비 단가 부분들이 되게 큰 부분을 차지하게 되는데 몬트로사 같이 이렇게 고정적으로 갈 수 있었던 이유가 어떤 시스템이라든지 또는 수익 창출원 같은 게 고정적인 부분이 있었을 것 같은데 혹시 대답을 해주실 수 있으실지.
I think the short answer is to make them cheaper. We have to make these things cheaper, and companies like mine are trying very hard to bring down the cost of second screen experiences because you're right. I think we've also seen a lot of innovation money spent on second screen applications, and we have seen that finish now. In the UK, all the broadcasters have tried it. They've all done their innovation, and now they only want to do it if they can make money out of it, which means the cost has to be very low. So our solution to this is to develop a platform, which is what we've done. So our customers license the platform, and then they pay a much smaller amount to create the experiences each time they want to do something. And that's the way of having a sort of a cheap way of having a repeatable second screen experience.
혹시 추가 질문 있으신가요? 네, 마지막에 두 분이신데 두 분 마지막으로 질문하시고 네, 마치도록 하겠습니다. 네.
강연 되게 잘 들었고요. 되게 초보적인 질문일지도 모르겠지만 현재 리스폰시블이라는 단어를 굉장히 많이 얘기하셨는데 리스폰시블은 실제적으로 획일화 아니면은 뭐 여러 가지 디바이스에 들어갈 수 있는 그러한 기기적인 명칭을 보통 저는 생각을 하는데, 특별히 앱 말고 리스폰시블이 가능한 HTML5를 선택하신 그런 이유가 단지 가격이나 기반에 드는 돈 때문인지 한번 얘기를 여쭙고 싶습니다.
It's primarily cost because the alternative is to create an app for iOS, an app for Android, and something for the desktop, and that's very expensive. So the benefit of creating an HTML5 app is that you can make it one app with a responsive design, and it will work on all of those platforms. So it does constrain creativity to a degree. I think if your app was a rich gaming experience that required say a lot of interaction with the screen, swiping and so on, then it's better to make a native app. And you would have to find the budget to do that. Or you would decide, I'm only going to launch this on Android, or I'm only going to launch this on iOS. And maybe then, if it's successful with the next series, you make another one. But the main reason is cost. And for most of the apps that we're talking about, and the apps that I've shown today, the exception is the £1 million drop, which is all native. But I think the others are all either HTML5 or HTML5 plus an app. Does that answer the question?
네, 되셨죠? 네네. 그러면 마지막으로 마지막 질문 짧게, 시간 관계상 짧게 질문해 주시고 짧게 답변하는 것으로 이번 강연 마칠 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 네, 마지막 질문해 주시죠.
네, 저는 연세대학교 경영학과 다니고 있는 학생이고요. 먼저 강연 감사드립니다. 제가 여쭤보고 싶은 거는 지금 전반적인 사례가 이미 되게 인지도가 높은 컨텐츠에 대한 것들이었는데, 혹시 되게 이미 인지도가 있는 게 아니고 아예 새로운 컨텐츠라든가 아니면 자본을 충분히 지불할 수 없는 컨텐츠 제작업체 같은 경우에도 이 세컨드 스크린을 하나의 그냥 인지도를 높이는 마케팅 도구로서 혹시 사용한 사례가 있으신지 궁금해서 질문드립니다.
That's a good question. I think our business focus is primarily on broadcasters, and so we're naturally working with quite high-profile content. But sometimes the audiences for those shows are quite small, particularly where we're working with digital channels, satellite broadcasters. We're talking about very small show audiences, and the success is always relative to the size of the audience. I think if your audience is 500,000 viewers at peak, which is some of the smaller shows we've worked with, then if you get 10% of those engaging, that's still a massive success, even if the numbers are small. I suspect you're talking about even smaller content creators than that, and it's not within my company's kind of business model, but I don't see any reason why not. I think it's just about finding the practical solution for doing something on a second screen, and I think the lowest cost option is social media, and you can do a lot with social media. By getting your audience involved with hashtags and driving them to a Facebook page or to your own website or other social media. So I think there are cheap ways of doing it, and that's where I would start and try and work out what works for your audience and grow it from there.
네, 질의가 많으신데요. 시간 관계상 이것으로 마치도록 하고 강연이 끝난 이후에 개별적으로 질문을 해주시면 대단히 감사하겠습니다. 이상으로 첫 번째 강연을 마치도록 하겠습니다. 다양한 사례와 제작 경험을 먼 곳에서부터 오셔서 나누어 주신 사이먼 브리클 대표님께 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.